the most influential queer books in history. Our history has been very much in the closet. Before the civil rights movement began, very few writers dared to explore LGBTQ plus characters or stories. There are a few notable exceptions to this that have helped shape our culture. A great example is The Picture of Dorian Grey by Oscar Wilde, written in 1891. The story of a young man who sells his soul to stay young and beautiful forever is full of homoerotic undertones. The City of the Pillar by Gore Vidal, and that was written in 1948, is another book. It is considered the first novel written after World War II that portrays a lead gay character sympathetically. A more contemporary book that is considered a keystone of LGBTQ plus reading is The Velvet Rage, Overcoming the Pain of Growing Up Gay in a Straight Man's World, written in 2005, written by psychologist Alan Downs and based on his own experiences and that of his patients. The book explores the struggle of overcoming shame imposed by society to come into one's own. And talk about shame. I think for a lot of LGBTQ people, we grow up with shame. I mean, I remember from the age of 4, they were calling me faggot. Faggot and sissy. I almost thought it was my middle name. And you know, the energy behind, not knowing what it meant it for, but knowing I didn't like the energy behind the word and how it made me feel. Right. And you know, even if you don't consciously know that you're in shame or you feel shame, subconsciously it's there. I really do believe that. And I believe that it plays a lot in our self-esteem.
Yes.
That's why these prides that we have, they aren't about our ego. They're about our self-esteem, because there were many people, and there still are many people in the world that want us to bow our heads down in shame. Like, how dare you be gay? How dare you be trans? So it's about us holding our heads up high and having self-esteem. And I believe that it is rooted. That shame thing is a really, really, really deadly thing for us. Deadly.
Emotions like that, they manifest themselves as internalized transphobia, homophobia, things like that. And the way that we handle them, we have to handle them in a mature manner. It can't just be something that we brush off, because it's still something that I personally deal with on a daily, you know? It's still something that a lot of other queer people deal with on a daily. And by seeing that we've been here throughout history, I think that's massively important to our mental health, as well as the progress that we continue to make.
Shame is one of those 7 deadlies. It's one of those things that can relinquish power in the most backward fashion ever imaginable. Now here's, I'll share something a little bit with you all about me. I'm probably would have to consider myself a newer writer on the scene. I used to like writing when I was about 12 or 13, but then someone caught hold of what I was writing, and I never wrote a single word again until December of 2020.
Wow.
So if you're 13 years old and it's December of 2020, and in December of 2020, I was 49 years old. So do the math, 13 to 49. Didn't write a single, not even a page, not even a sentence. And decided to go back to college to go get a master's in English, which I just completed. But I felt my entire 2 years of college right now was more therapy. It wasn't really like, I'm going to study to be this fantastic writer. No. It was more like, I finally just poured it all out and got straight A's for the first time in my life. It's pretty cool too. All right, how about that? But I would say it's really important to encourage the newer writers that are out there, like myself, who are a little bit still fearful of saying what you really want to say. There are tons of mediums out there that allow you to create your own blog, type a small little blurb on your IG, do it on your Twitter, do it wherever you please. It doesn't have to be long, but get something out so that you can continue to heal and to help others.
Yeah.
Even if you don't share it, like I personally, most of my writing, I went years without sharing it because writing was a form of therapy for me. You know? Everything that I was thinking that I had locked up inside of my brain, I just threw it on the pages, and it was so healing.
You know, I'd like to ask, and this is for the table, was there a book when you were young or younger? Was there a book that talked to you, that said, okay, yes, this book isn't saying gay, but they're connecting with me? Is there something that triggered it in you that, like, okay, this is an author I can go to, or something like that?
Yeah.
Well, I think that for me it was a gay author. It was Andrew Holleran who wrote the book Dancer from the Dance. This is his first novel. He actually has a new novel coming out this month, but that was the book. That was the turning point for me.
How old were you when you read it?
I was probably maybe 19.
Okay.
Oh, so like 2 years ago.
Thank you.
And well, I would say for me, I don't know if you all are familiar with Elin Harris.
Sure.
Yeah, African-American writer, gay African-American writer. He's passed away now. But he had a trilogy of 3 stories that came out. And it resonated with me because he talked about, like, you know, being young and gay and, you know, exploring your sexuality. And so that's what I would say. I would say his writings resonated with me. And I was like in my early 20s. But also spiritual books, like the spiritual gurus, like Deepak Chopra, Louise Hay, Marianne Williamson, those type of people, Esther Hicks Abraham. The reason why is because getting in touch with my spirit helped me to transcend my spirituality, and like what we are is more than just this, you know, this physicality, right? That empowered me, and it helped me to get beyond so much of my pain. I mean, you know, people see me and they see, oh, Raji, you know, and I'm like, I love people, and, you know, I know that I've become somewhat of a personality in the community. But, you know, there's days where I really have to bite the bullet and like be strong to hold my head up when I go into a store or I go somewhere where I know there's gonna be, even the supermarket, for instance. Sometimes I'm in my car and I'm like, here we go, because I know there's gonna be people that see me and judge me and, you know, wanna shame me. And so, you know, I'm a work in progress. I've come a long way, but I'm just saying that I think, like you had shared, shame is something that I think we all kind of still deal with on some levels, depending on who you are. And as a multiracial, transgender woman of color, I certainly deal with that on a daily basis, you know?
It takes a lot to get out of bed some days. And I think the most powerful thing that we can do to try and, I guess, fight back against everyone else is to get out of bed and go about your daily lives.
Yes.
You know what, Evan? I say to people all the time, when you see me, my presence alone is a statement of activism.
Exactly.
It is. If you see me in the market, at the post office, at the gas station, I'm living my life and I'm out and loud and proud. Well, not loud all the time. I do have a big mouth.
I don't think I've met you in the non-loud movement, Raji. I'm just telling you.
Well, speaking of activists, if I could put in a plug, we recently lost Urvashi Vad, and this is probably one of the most important books of the last 20, 25 years. Virtual Equality. I cannot recommend it enough, and this definitely goes in that category of classics. So please read this if you haven't.
Virtual Equality.
Virtual Equality. Urvashi Vad.
I have to peruse your entire library. Everything you have looks fantastic.
Right? Mine is just perks of being a wallflower.
I love that book.
Like, no,
my favorite.
Such a good book. Oh
It
my
is.
goodness.
Absolutely.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ